graduation season for college grads everywhere, and we're saying goodbye to campus life and hello to the real world and real money. But before you spend a penny, there are a few ways college grads can start saving money right away. This is Moneyology.
Graphic. Moneyology, baby. Please welcome the woman who makes sure our money is never looking funny, Tiffany The Budgetnista Aliche. What's up, Tiffany?
Hey, ladies. How are you?
Hey,
How are
Tiffany.
you?
Hi, Tiff. Okay, so college students, you're used to taking notes, so take out your paper and pen. I know I'm gonna be, because we are jumping right in. Tiffany, so some college students are used to living on campus or at home with their parents, right? But after graduation, most of them are ready to move out on their own. Do you think this is a good move?
I say not so fast. I want you to consider getting a roommate, because now that you're out there in the real world, there's going to be real world bills. And if you can get help paying them, all the better. And with a roommate, you can actually split some of those grown-up bills so you have extra money in your budget for fun things like travel.
That's good. You know,
I like that. Yes.
and you know what? Now, when grads get their first paycheck from their first real world job, how should they live on it? I mean, should they invest it? How much should they save? What's going on?
So, Lonnie, if you are a new grad, best thing you can do is to live under your means. And what exactly that means is if you can live at 70% or less, you're going to be in awesome shape. So what do you do with the other 30%? Well, the first 10%, I want you to invest in retirement. If your job has a 401k, great, start there.
Smart.
If your job doesn't have a 401k, that's okay. You can open up an individual retirement account at a bank. The next 10%, I want you to invest for wealth. When you invest for retirement, you're looking after your older self. When you invest for wealth, you're making your current life better and you're leaving a legacy. You're not sure how to invest for wealth? That's all right as well. I want you to look into something called an index fund. Index funds are typically like a grouping or basket of investments like stocks or bonds. And most people don't know how to pick these things individually. But with an index fund, you don't have to, because that index fund is going to follow a particular index, like the S&P 500, which you might be like, well, what's that? That is 500 big companies that are in the stock market currently in the United States. And what happens in the stock market over the last 100 years, the stock market has gone up over the last 100 years. So if you put your money in an index fund and it mirrors that S&P 500, which has gone up over the last 100 years, what that means is that your money will go up, although you might see some dips along the way, but it means you don't have to pick individual stocks and bonds. And the last 10%, I want you to put it aside for savings, ideally an online-only savings account. If you do those three things with your money, then it will never be funny.
All right.
Love that. It will never be funny. Okay, now let's talk about credit, since a lot of grads may not know just how much it plays a role in purchasing power. Talk to us about credit.
Adrian, credit is like so important, almost more important than the money you actually have saved. Because with credit, it can prevent you from getting that apartment you want. It can prevent you from getting the car that you want. And it can even prevent you from getting that dream job. Yes, there are literally some jobs that look at your credit score. And if it's really bad, they won't hire you. Like I had a mentee, she was an attorney. And her credit score played a big role in whether or not she was going to get that job or not. So you might be thinking to yourself, what if I have no credit? Well, unfortunately, no credit is called a thin file, and that's also considered bad credit. There you go. So here's some things you can do to raise your credit score or to just even have a credit score in general. One, you can ask a parent or someone who's older that has a strong credit score already if they can add you as an authorized user to a card they're paying off in full every month. It means you get to inherit that good behavior and start your credit history. If you don't have that, that's okay. You can also look to getting something called a secured credit card. It's like a credit card with training wheels. That means you go to the bank. The bank is going to say, okay, how much money do you have? Typically as low as $300, upwards of $1,000. They put that money up for you. Then they give you a credit card with the same limit as what you put up. So that $300 you put up, your secured card has a $300 limit. And that's a great way to start building your thin file up.
Tiffany, you always have such great information. Where were you when I was a teenager? But anyway. Now, when it comes to student loans, right? A lot of grads leave college owning a ton of money. But when do grads need to start paying back those loans?
So if you're a grad, you want to start thinking about it now, but most student loans give you a 6-month grace period. That means you have 6 months to find gainful employment, 6 months to gather your coins together, and 6 months to start paying. So in those 6 months, you want to also gather some intel so you're ready. You want to call your student loan company and ask them, what is my monthly payment going to be? How much do I actually owe? What is my interest rate? What happens if I can't afford my payment every single month? Do I have a federal or private student loan? Once you kind of gather that intel, you can be prepared to pay back 6 months from graduation.
Tiffany, you are our gift to the class of 2021. Thanks for stopping by and giving us that great advice. Even if you're not a grad, you need some of this advice. So thank you so much, Tiffany.
I always learn something.
Well, thank you guys for always.
Learn something
Thank you
with
for
Tiffany.
having me. Thank you for having me.